So it's time to take a look at one of our favorite flat earthers, and that is CC, Chris here, as he always says. Chris is an interesting flat earther in that he... Oh, how do I put this? He's very Dunning-Kruger. He thinks he knows more than he does. And I don't mean to, like... I don't like to denigrate people's intelligence or anything. I'm not saying this is an insult. I genuinely just think Chris is not as smart as he thinks he is, and it unfortunately leads him to believe in things like flat Earth, and he believes he's like one of the smartest people on the planet. So, let's take a look.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be. CC here, Chris, from New York, Westchester County. It's 3/26/21. The last video I did, that guy was a bit troubled.
You don't
pissed,
say.
Of course.
His last video, he was like, oh my god, I actually got to show you another video before I show you this one. Recently, check this out. We have a little bit of a road rage incident with Chris in this one.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be. CC here, Chris, from New York, Westchester County. It's 3/24/21. I just went to my old high school, okay? And I didn't go to a traditional high school, you know, with, well, I don't want to give too much information out, but...
I want to know so bad what he was going to say there.
I mean, it was... All right, the high school was basically made out of a mansion.
Is Chris an X-Man?
You know, the fucked up thing about it is, as much money as I'm spending for my daughter to go to Catholic school was more to my tuition to go to the school that I went to in high school. Anyway, I don't even know what the fuck I'm getting into this. Why I didn't even bring this up? You know what? What the whole thing is with my... It goes back. It goes way back. Oh, I'm sorry. Am I in your way? Oh, he must be in a big rush. Oh, yes, you are. With children in the car, too. That's good. That's a great example you set. Let's catch up to this guy and ask him what his problem is. You know, I mean, that's the whole thing. You see, now he's getting into the other lane because he's so embarrassed. I'm sorry. Oh, because he knows I'm going to go up there and speak to him. Oh, it's good. I'm sorry.
There's no stop sign there. It's yield. Do you understand that? That's how you get into an accident. It's yield.
Yeah.
Don't follow through. You don't make a full stop.
You're going to tell me how to drive,
you
right
fucking
now?
asshole. Learn how to drive. You
Oh, I will.
The other guy is a Republican. You'll see. He follows him and they have further confrontation.
Oh, it's good.
I don't know how to put this, but it's never a good idea to follow someone in traffic that you're having some sort of conflict with.
This is the madness that we have to deal with here. That's what it is. Let's follow this guy and get schooled on how to drive. Yeah.
That's how I almost hit back you, because you yield. You're supposed to go through, asshole. Huh? You don't think so? Stop sign is big. It says STOP. But you must be a liberal and like fucking Joe Biden like an asshole.
I'm not a politician.
Yeah, I'm not a politician, but you drive like one. A fucking schmuck.
You got a lot in your mind, don't you?
What?
You got a lot in your mind. A lot of.
These two deserve each other.
Right, when I almost smashed in the back of you, standing there looking around, no traffic coming, like a fucking schmuck. Like this guy's gonna bang in the back of you, like a fucking asshole.
What do we talk?
You fucking should talk. I'll talk right now. Come on, talk. Talk.
Oh my.
I'm talking with you. Talk. Talk.
Don't spray. Don't spray.
I almost banged in
shit
the
on
back of
me.
you because you sit there like a fucking jerk off. Yeah, there you go, asshole.
Wow.
Dr. Campbell says this is my new canon ship. I respect that.
Wow, man. I mean, you can't even. Don't spray me. I mean, really.
Oh
He's
boy,
spitting at-
if only... if only there were some sort of item of clothing that was common right now that guy could have been wearing, so when you interact with another person, they don't spray their mouth juice in your face. If only such a thing existed. Boy, it sure would be a shame if Chris spent half of his time in his videos rallying against that item of clothing. Someday. It's just sci-fi to think about, but, you know. I'm a dreamer.
At me at this point. Holy shit. Look. I'm just trying to get through to people, man. And I mean, oh, fuck. Fuck. I just can't believe this guy. You realize this guy had 4 kids in the car? 2. Okay, do you realize what kind of father figure you're giving your children? And by the way, his car's all dented up. His whole side of the door was all dented and fucked up. He looked like he drove it down a fucking cliff. Westchester County, once again. And he's calling me a liberal. Or a fucking politician. And he has no idea. Don't you see my fucking plate? Don't you see that I'm a flat earther? Don't you see that I understand what he's going through? He's going through the frustration of life. But when you become a flat earther, and when you understand what the hell is going on here, and you understand every's a fucking lie, you come together with people, and you love each other. All right, and that is a perfect example. That is a perfect example of what we were before we were flat earthers. Frustrated, pissed off.
And you're doing so well now, Chris. You don't seem frustrated or pissed off at all. Yay, flat Earth.
I tried to cope with him, but I mean, there's a lot of traffic here.
Is flat Earth a religious cult now? Now? Yes it is.
Is
For many people.
kind of a highway, and I don't want to block anything, and I certainly don't want to get in trouble with the law. Because they're doing their job too, and I have nothing against police officers. They're doing probably, well, they should be out there a little bit more. But the scum they have to deal with out there is another story. Anyway, look, I thank you for subbing. I thank you for viewing my videos. Let me be a part of your life. I'll put something out tomorrow.
Jesus Christ. So that's what happened relatively recently. That's what he was referencing in this video.
But that's to be expected here. And
God, close your window when you're filming, Chris. No one wants to hear the wind.
Westchester County, because that's pretty much how 90% of the population fall. The rest of the 10% are, I don't know what they are. People that just, well, the number is actually higher than that, but there are 10% of the population that are just gone. they're just hopeless. There's nothing that you can do for them at all.
The irony of him saying this is fantastic.
The other 90% are the people who actually vote and that don't know who they're voting for after seeing the spectacle of the meeting just yesterday.
Ooh, we're on a hype train again. Beautiful.
It's not even funny anymore. It's more sad now. It's sad. That's the best way to describe it for politics. They're just so sad that these people can't see that this is all fake. That the president actually really did gain all these popular votes and became what he is now. I told you exactly what the deal was, guys. I told you what you're getting right now is the end of the presidency of Reagan. The last days of Reagan's administration. Nancy was running the show. Yes, she was. Guess who's going to run the show now?
I would think, and yes, we now know that Reagan had dementia near the end of his run there, which isn't surprising. I would imagine more the cabinet and the vice president were probably running things more so than Nancy, but okay.
Oh, yes. Oh, God. I mean, it's just so bad. There's so many things I fucking know. Anyway, what I was trying to say is I didn't go to a traditional school.
Oh, he's actually going to get into it. Beautiful. We'll hear about his days at the X Mansion.
As in a public school. I went to a private school. And it was a small private school. So what that meant is that attention to every detail in my classroom. Okay? And you got a lot.
The funny thing about the Joe Biden dementia conspiracy theories is, and I've heard, this from various right-wing sources and also CC here, who's just like, blah, 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 blah. Usually they'll say like, oh, Kamala Harris is in charge, or his cabinet is in charge. And I always find that funny, because I'd almost prefer that over Joe Biden being in charge. Like, it wouldn't upset me if lifelong bureaucrats who are competent at their jobs were running the government, believe it or not. Funny how that works. But I don't think that's the case.
A lot more attention from the teacher, where they would actually come up to you and help you, and not feed your head with politics and bullshit, and actually learn what is on the agenda to be learned, which I'm not in favor of anyway to begin with. But anyway, look, let them dream of a spinning wet ball. Okay, I hope they fun.
Spinning moist globe.
Hey, fuck it. Look, I know where they were. I was there. We all were there at one point, And then we go through the 5 stages, which is very important to go through. That's one of the things you have to go through. And that's what's going to change your life. That's what's going to wake you up. That's what is going to tell you that, hey, fuck, my whole personality, my whole character is built around a lie. Okay, and that's when you become a different person, an awoke person, realizing that there couldn't possibly be a planet that could ever possibly exist.
He's so woke that he thinks planets don't exist. Very woke.
Don't exist. Realizing that nothing out there is true. Realizing
He looks like Jay Leno. Hold on. Hold on. Where is it? He looks like Jay Leno's low-rent brother, or his stand-in. I could see it.
Politics and the sports and the bullshit of TV and Hollywood, Hollyweird, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Don't you see how corrupt those people are in Hollywood and how disgusting?
Only in Hollywood, though. There's no corruption in any other aspect of society. It's a good thing we were able to, like, cordon that off just to that one place in LA. We did it. 30 seconds left on the hype train.
They are and satanic, because most of them know this is all fake. This is all bullshit. This is a digital world that we live in. Think about it, guys.
Because we are living in a digital world, and I am a digital girl. Ooh.
After doing many tests in different countries, and America didn't even do it.
Ooh, we completed level 1 of the hype train. Just barely. Thank you, everyone.
Whatever you think, it knows what you're going to think up to 8 seconds. 8 seconds. So that means if you look away from something, and when you look back, before you've even made a thought, whatever this computer system is, and whatever this digital world we live in, it already knows.
More so, it's probably just the fact that your brain is making instinctual choices, and then you post hoc rationalize said choices consciously. If that's how it works, that's how it works. I don't know what to tell you. Or maybe that's just what my brain wants me to believe.
Fuck. It's really a lot of shit to think about.
Is that a vape? Is that a pen or is that a vape? Is he about to take a sick rip of that vape?
You know? But this is great.
That would explain a lot if he's high all the time.
I love it, you know? To know about all of this shit. You know, just to know about it and to understand it and watching it slowly tip the other way.
No, that's a vape. That's definitely a vape. I wonder if that's tobacco or just some people just do like nothing drug related in it and just like the flavor. He strikes me as a day smoking weed person, which if that's the case, fuck him for driving. Do not drive while you're high, you assholes. Don't do it, okay?
To flat Earth, you know, because that's what it eventually will do.
Old enough to know better now says, my high ass heard you asking, is that a vape, and wondered how you saw me smoking. Oh, don't you know? We can all see you. Are you freaked out yet?
These 10% of people that I'm talking about, maybe it's higher. I don't know. I mean, I believe there's a good 80% of people that you can get through to, you know, and wake them up. But the problem is when you wake these people up, there's so many distractions.
Don't give them a bad trip. I've never heard weed described as a trip. It's not mushroom. I would never try and fuck with people on something like mushrooms. But weeds, I guess it depends on if they're edibles, but it's a vape, so it's probably not. It's fine.
Much bullshit. They don't look into it. So they're back into the system, you know? So I don't know. I really don't know. But there's just like 10% who are just so fucking clueless. I don't even think they're people, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, they're folks clueless. I really don't know. But there's just like 10% who are just so fucking clueless. I don't even think they're people.
Yeah, that's not good. The second you start to dehumanize people, that's a no-go. Don't do that. We're at 17% of the level 2 hype train.
As far as
I get it if that's all we get, by the way. We got a really good hype train earlier. I just appreciate it.
Concerned. I mean, they're so fucking focused on...
Want to talk about a trip to edibles and watch the Snyder Cut. The Snyder Cut sucked! It was better than the theatrical cut, but that's a really low bar. I didn't like the Snyder Cut.
Exactly what you shouldn't be focused on.
We did do a call for an uprising already, yes. I was responsible for 2 people's bad trips, specifically because I gave them high-dose edibles, and I wasn't thinking about it. I didn't, like, come over to the house and be like, ooh, you're covered in spiders. I don't know.
And there's no way of getting them out of it.
And they've forgiven me for that, so...
You know what I mean. I mean, maybe you don't. I don't know. You should, after following me for as long as you have. Rolling up to 4 years now on videos. Not on Flat Earth, but on videos. See, it took me a while to figure this out in terms of who to speak to. And that's why I just decided, fuck it. I'm just going to start publishing my information at this point. There's no need to fuck around and beat around in a bush. You know, you got to let people know what the fuck you think. It's pointless. You know, you can't sit at a dinner table and go through a nauseating conversation with somebody and that you just want to, like, at any moment get the fuck up and walk the fuck out.
Almost got level 2. Thank you, everyone. A level 5 and almost a level 2. That's awesome. I appreciate all the support.
Okay, you're not that person anymore, whether you like it or not. It's as simple as that. And you never will be, ever again, because that's the thing with Flat Earth. Once again, you destroyed the planet. And there's no way of putting it back together again, ever again. There's no way. It's impossible. You can't put together water, gravity, the fact that you can't see anything, the fact that all of these...
I can see plenty. What are you talking about?
Lies are about to you, and now that you understand them, you know, that's the thing, that now that you understand it, you know, there's no way of ever going back. It's an old friend of mine. He hasn't commented on my channel in a while. I hope he's all right. But yeah, when I was speaking to him on the phone, it's, you know, that's, and this is what our president's going through too. So he's probably welcoming it, I bet. But, you know, flat earthers welcome dementia at this point. You know, I mean, really, because...
No, I'm not gonna, no.
I don't know how long it's gonna take for all these people to wake the fuck up, you know? I really don't. I mean, it's getting to a point right now where all the confusion with, you know what I'm talking about, what's been going on for the last year, has almost gotten people out of researching, which I'm surprised they haven't, because they've got a lot of time on their hands. They're sitting around there on the fucking couch, watching old reruns of Bugs Bunny and I Love Lucy.
CC's very in touch with the youths. You know how we all hang out and watch old... Okay, this is a bad example because I literally have sat down and watched old Looney Tunes because they're on HBO Max, but... I'm not typically watching Looney Tunes or I Love Lucy.
Frank Sinatra. Good old Blue Eyes. I wonder what he really was. Who knows? Who cares?
You know what show I just started? I literally, earlier today, started I watched the first episode of The Sopranos. I've never seen The Sopranos. I watched the first episode. It was pretty good. So I hope the rest of it's good.
Doesn't make a difference. You can investigate this shit all you want, but you're wasting your time, because once you know it's fake, it gets even more annoying when you look into it and you say, ah,
Fake
shit.
Nation.
Even that was fake. I grew up with that. Even this is fake. Oh, man. I used to watch that all the time.
Yeah, I've heard The Wire is amazing. I gotta watch The Wire. Like, The Wire is consistently, when you look up, like, best TV shows of all time, The Wire is always on this list. The lists usually have, like, Breaking Bad, The Sopranos, The Wire, and, you know, various other shit. But those are the ones I see brought up really often, and I love Breaking Bad, so I wanted to check out The Sopranos and The Wire.
People say that, you know, when I say things are fake, they're not real, is my point. The people aren't real. They're not wholesome. You know, they're paid to lie and to make up all of this bullshit to keep you confused.
Or the Earth is actually round and you're just mistaken. Probably Occam's razor, that one.
And they're paid good money for doing it because they're picked. They're chosen. Maybe some of them have a little bit of talent, but most of them don't. The really big ones don't have any talent at all.
Bohemian Lucy says, I don't even like Breaking Bad. Why don't you like Breaking Bad? That show's fantastic.
Whatsoever, as far as I'm concerned. Shit. And no brains. But Gucci and Rolls Royce and Bentley and all the realtors...
Like, Breaking Bad only gets better. So many shows get worse, but Breaking Bad, I think, just gets better and better and better.
Love them because they don't have a half a brain. They'll just buy anything. They don't know the meaning of money. The meaning of
Instinct with now I'm sorry, I'm ignoring CC at this point. Now I'm just talking about TV shows. Instinct with Alan Cumming is really good. I love Alan Cumming, so maybe I'll watch that.
Work. They don't know any of that shit. We do. You do. Anyway, I don't even know where I was going with this video, but it doesn't really make a difference, you know, because we're here on borrowed time when it comes down to this. We can't talk about 90% of the shit we want to talk about, you know. It's
because what you want to talk about is conspiratorial nonsense and anti-vaxxer bullshit. If you want to talk about that stuff, go to BitChute. Hang out with your Nazi buddies.
Kind of bland.
You find Breaking Bad incredibly depressing, so you can't get into it. Fair enough. If you don't want to watch, like, a drama series that gets dark. Yeah, I get it. It's a good show, though.
I can't rip on politicians anymore. What they've done, taking away everything from our children, Dr. Seuss and all of his bullshit.
No one took away Dr. Seuss from you. The Dr. Seuss company, whatever the publisher is, the estate of Dr. Seuss that publishes the books decided to stop publishing 6 books because A, they were unpopular. They were the unpopular books in the catalog. And 2, they had racist depictions in them, so they decided voluntarily to stop publishing those books, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Shit, this is just control.
You can go find scans of them online if you really want them.
That's all it is. Don't get mad at it, you know? Hey, look, don't worry about it. You have all the old books, don't you? I do. They're all there. I bought them all for my daughter. I don't care. They're there. You know? When are they going to kick on the Smurfs? There's got to be something racial about the Smurfs, I'm sure. Maybe because they're blue? I don't know.
I just don't think anyone gives a shit about the Smurfs. The Smurfs kind of sucked. Like, a lot. And I'm someone who likes... Never. I was going to say, like, I like Transformers, and I think the Smurfs suck, but...
There's got to be something tied in there. They'll think of it. Don't worry. They're taking all of your rights away out from under you in such a quick...
If they were gonna, they'd probably do the... Weren't there evil Smurfs that were a different color? Hold on. Evil Smurfs. Or was that just in the new movie? What am I thinking of? I guess I'm wrong. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's anything. I don't watch the Smurfs. So I have no idea. You know what the worst atrocity of the Smurfs is, though? The terrible Smurfs movies. These are awful. With, I think Neil Patrick Harris is in the first 2. Maybe I just don't like the Smurfs as a concept. And yes, I've heard the takes that, like, ooh, it's like, subtext is communism. Okay, well, the show still sucks. The movies suck. I hate the Smurfs. I hate them. I hate them so smurfing much. I wish they'd all just smurf off. Smurf the Smurfs.
Period of time. They are fast forwarding like you wouldn't believe. They are doing...
One girl. I'd like to think that Smurfs either produce asexually or it's just like a commune of all gay Smurfs. And they just let Smurfette hang out because she's like their friend. I know the canon reason. I know that Gargamel made Smurfette. I'm just saying.
Everything in such a short period of time. What is 1 year now is probably would have really been 10 or 20. And they're just jamming it in because they've realized they've come to their end. The civilization itself, as you know, it has come to an end. We've peaked. Everything is done.
Everyone... There have been people in basically every era of human civilization that have said, we've peaked, we can't get any better, there's no... It's possible. Climate disaster could destroy us. At the very least, it'll end the current iteration of civilization, possibly. I think there's a decent likelihood of that. But even if that happened, it wouldn't surprise me if eventually something greater grew out of the ashes. That's kind of the cycle of history of the human race so far, is... Someone creates a great civilization, and they create amazing things and new developments, and then that civilization, for one reason or another, collapses. You know, the people spread out, they create their own little communities, and some of those eventually grow into their own civilizations that create new things and whatever. At some point, of course, you know, humans are just animals. Humans will go extinct at some point. You never know when that's going to be. Could be soon because of climate change. Maybe not. But either way, I don't know. Prognosticating that this is the best we're ever going to get is kind of a pointless exercise. Because if you think that, that's fine. Then go sit down. Like, what are you going to achieve by being like, this is the best we're ever going to be? Because you're either going to be right, and at that point, who cares? It doesn't need to be said. Or you're going to be wrong, and you're going to look like a fool. So why say it?
I mean, we all know that...
Bear in mind, I'm not saying don't care about things like climate change. I'm just saying a smug statement that civilization has peaked, it's impossible for us to get any better, is stupid.
The Earth is flat now. We all know we're stationary.
No, we're not stationary. The Earth isn't flat.
No, those stars don't exist. As a matter of fact, once you get something high enough up there, the stars completely disappear from the naked eye.
No, I think you're referring to pictures of the moon, and usually like the ISS when it's taking live footage, and usually the Earth is in frame. And when the Earth is in frame, or when the moon is in frame, the light reflecting off of those surfaces is so bright that the camera has to be set so... how do I put this? Basically, if you were able to see the stars in the background, then the entire image would be blown out because of how bright the surface of the Earth or the moon look, respectively. So, just with how cameras work, and this would be doesn't know how cameras work on the bingo card. Good example of it, actually. Your what's the word? Why can I not think of the word for how much light you're letting into the aperture? Someone in the chat will tell me, and I'll feel stupid. Exposure, thank you. The exposure for seeing the Earth or seeing the moon is very different than the exposure you would need to get the stars without blowing out the image of the Earth or the moon. So that's why.
Man, what is it, a projection? I don't know. Who the fuck knows?
Oh my god, did he just do... oh my god, we never get these on the bingo card. Hold on. He just called out two ones we very rarely get. Okay. Doesn't know how cameras work, which is somewhere on here. Did we already do... oh, we already did the cameras. Shoot. And then we have holographic fake sun sky. We never get that one. Rad.
Okay? That doesn't make a difference. It's there for you to find out. And that's what the creator did here. For you to figure all this out. He or she, whoever may be, didn't want to be too simple about it. Had to make everything round. You know, had to make even the shade when it's eclipsed by the moon or the sun. It had to be round too, remember?
I mean, it's that because when there are eclipses, you're either seeing the shadow of the moon or you're seeing the shadow of the Earth. And they're both round, so the shadow is going to be round. It's how shadows work. It's not fake, it's just how shapes work.
Come on, you gotta think with your head. You gotta think with your head. And that's what the creator wants you to do. That's why the problem with this population is so...
They tell us the Earth is round, and the shadows we see during eclipses are exactly what we would expect to see if the Earth was round. Seems a little sus, doesn't it? No, that's the opposite of suspicious.
So fucked up and so lost is because they can't think with their
What if you're being followed by a moon shadow? I don't know, ask Cat Stevens.
head. And that's the problem. They never can think with it. They don't know. You know, when is the tipping point for somebody that is a ball earther and somebody who gets into flat earth? Where is that tipping point? Nobody knows. It's different for everybody. That's how it is. It's different for every single person. Something's going to trigger it. Whether it being NASA, whether it being Hollyweird, whether it being the way the flight patterns are flying around up in the sky, the pictures, that there's so many things wrong with these pictures from the moon landing from Apollo 11 that it's
All the conspiracy theories about the Apollo moon landing pictures have been debunked by hundreds of different sources countless times. Come on, get some new arguments at least. Are you really gonna do the goddamn sea rock again?
it's a joke.
Even Mythbusters did that one.
Just take a look at that picture. I could name off 15 fucking things the matter with it, for Christ's sake. The eclipses are the best thing. When you point a flashlight in back of you and you're in front of a wall, what happens? Your shadow blows up. It doesn't shrink down to a little action figure. But yet, all the eclipses do when the shade comes over.
This has been demonstrated before too. Let me see if I can find the video. It's kind of obscure, so... Shadow getting smaller. I've watched someone illustrate this with a sphere. I'm not sure if I'll be able to find them.
Basically, I have two nails here that are the same diameter, and I'm going to leave one of them, this one, static, and I'm going to move the other one closer to the light source, and we're going to check what happens. And as you can see, the shadows are both really dark right now, and if I move this one closer to the light source, what happens is that the overall shadow gets larger, but the really dark bit, the umbra, is getting smaller. And that's why during a solar eclipse, the shadow cast by the moon is smaller than the moon. And in fact, if I move it even closer to the light source, what happens is that I don't really have a dark spot anymore. The shadow just becomes all blurry, really large, but all blurry. And that's why if Mercury or Venus moves in front of the sun, we don't really have an eclipse going on. It might get a tiny bit darker, but we don't have an eclipse. So let me just move it closer now. You can see it's the same nail. And now I'm going to show you just the light source for reference. And check how it looks. There you go. That's it.
These were the objects I used to create the video. As you can see, the lamp actually has 6 light sources, and this simulates the sun, since as we have seen on the previous video, we can't consider that all the light is coming from a single point in the center. It actually spreads in every direction from every point on the surface of the sun. Still, in this experiment, the dimensions of the objects and the distance between them are not to scale.
You get it. He's just saying, hey, do your own shit. But they're totally, you know, you can go find plenty of demonstrations of this on YouTube. Here's another one demonstrating the same thing. That one's even better at demonstrating it, honestly. These are experiments you can do by yourself at home. This does not require a NASA budget. This does not require specialized equipment. It requires a flashlight and a stick with a coin on it.
For the country. It's actually only 70 miles. What? Well, I thought I thought the moon was like 2,300 miles or something like that. Or
Sure, but the shadow isn't. At least the part that we can see when it's doing the eclipse.
whatever it may be. I shouldn't it be like 5 times the size of that? Okay, well then let's go in reverse. When the Earth eclipses the moon. Huh? That doesn't make any sense. Because it covers it completely. Well,
Because the Earth is a lot bigger than the moon. The Earth is bigger than the moon.
it shouldn't. It should shrink it down, right? It should shrink it down and make it look like an eyeball. Ah, fuck. The creator created this for you to figure out. He didn't want to make it simple. He or she or whoever maybe didn't want to make it simple. You have to think. Think. That's the key word for today. Think.
How much does the coin cost? How much could a quarter possibly cost? $1?
Think about all of this nonsense. I mean, look, you know, I before I was even a flat earther, I knew politics were all bullshit to begin with anyway. I just didn't realize the extent of it.
He just wants to grill, damn it.
You know, they might as well just put 666s in the back of these heads of these politicians, or 333s and all sorts of shit. You know, instead of the flag, which has a whole other series of bullshit going on with that thing of satanic nonsense and these emblems that they have for the doctors and the psychiatrists and the whole medical field. I mean, look, I'm looking at one right now. You know, I mean, really look at that thing. It looks like snakes and war dogs and all sorts of shit. Oh man, I mean, it's just it's a joke. It's a joke, and they're not even laughing. That's the problem. They're not even laughing. Sorry for making this a little bit long, but it's just I don't know, man. I mean, it's unbelievable. The weather's turning around here in New York, as you can see. It's probably it's 82 degrees. Holy shit! Wow, we haven't seen that. It's the first we've seen it now. That can't be right. I guess it is.
Yeah, it counts as
It's 82
numerology
degrees here
for
in
bingo.
New York. I cannot believe it. Just 2 weeks ago, there was snow on the ground, and I was freezing my ass off. But yeah, everything's turning around here in New York. I told you it's going to be an excellent spring. We had one of the worst winters in a while in New York, and the spring is now here. So get everything ready for springtime. Let's have some fun. Get that fat off that we gained after the year of sitting around while I was working, but still not doing what I usually do. Fishing. Walking around. Anyway. Thank you for subbing, and thank you for viewing my videos. Let me be a part of your life.
Part of me feels really bad for CC, because there are a lot of flat earthers that are outright grifters. Mark Sargent is a good example. CC isn't. CC is not a grifter. He's not trying to sell you anything. He is a true believer. He's genuinely does not have the tools to know that he is wrong, and it just makes me very sad that he's so confident about this really, really wrong thing. So, he's got some other videos that are more recent about testing stuff, which we'll probably check out next time, but I would play this, but I would definitely get a copyright from, I think Viacom owns Nickelodeon. I do remember this song, though. Think Big.